Mark from Hack Events. We host hackathons around the world. Also on our website we have over 200 hackathons happening in the future right now. And I'm here with Bart and Mike from mobile Adblock. And I'm just going to ask them to tell a little bit about their background. And yeah, Bart, please.
Hey, so I will start with that we are twins, which is always fun. Because you have a second person to help you with everything. We had this story, like, we're heavy users of Adblock Plus. If you look, we're originally from Poland. Poland is the top country that's using mobile Adblock. Not mobile Adblock, Adblock Plus. Like, the usage in our country is more than, like, I think 20%. And we are also heavy using it, and we forgot how the advertisements looks like. And then mobile is more popular, so you're using your phone more and more. And you have these ads. So Adblock Plus tried to make their own browser for Android and Apple, and they were kicked out of the store. And it was growing and growing, and you had these advertisements there. And now, since iOS 9, Apple allowed to have the content blockers, which basically means ad blockers for Safari. But what if you're using Chrome browser on the iPhone, or what if you're using YouTube app? There is also advertisement. And second of all, there is like a lot of apps that have this advertisement at the bottom. And starting with the mobile screen is really small, this is just kind of creepy. Like, what guys you're doing? I don't have so much space on my screen and you're wasting it for the advertisement. Then we just started thinking what we can do to block the ads for the system-wide. Like, how is it possible? So the first idea was to proxy the internet traffic. But then Apple is really strict about this stuff. So they don't allow to proxy the traffic. So we had to like find few layers of different hacks, basically, to make the mobile Adblock reality. So in the end, we're just kicking all advertisements from any apps that is there, because all our traffic, we just cancel the traffic to ads. So first of all, you save up to 500 megabytes of the traffic usage for the mobile. You don't have any ads, and the Apple is so generous that if you don't have ads if you have ads in the apps, but they cannot be loaded, you cannot take the screen, so there is no black bar. So the apps, well, you can see in the background, this is some camera up, this light flashlight up, the advertisement just disappeared. And then we started thinking what we can do more, like only ads is kind of not enough since all the traffic goes through our servers. We started thinking how we can help mobile, like it's mobile Adblock, so we focus on mobile, so we kicked out advertisement. What we can do more is that developers making websites are really, really lazy. Like, you have a mobile screen, it has, first iPhone had 300 pixels wide, more or less, and you get like full HD photo displayed as a miniature somewhere, as a thumbnail. This is just crazy, so, and it's PNG, not JPEG, it's not saved, it's not compressed. So we thought, what we can do, we can just deliver all the photos, all the traffic you're getting already compressed. And using this thing, like you can see on the picture, the left and right side of the kitten, before the compression, it's 750 kilobytes, and after compression, you don't see any difference for you, it's 70% less. So you use 70% less of your mobile traffic, which first of all makes your internet faster if you're mobile, and you save megabytes. That's basically, it's all about mobile Adblock. I was lucky enough to get the domain as well, and we'll see where it goes, because the internet now goes into this Adblock stuff. Apple is allowing it, so let's see.
Is there an app already for this?
Yeah, so the good point about mobile Adblock is that we're scared that Apple could kick us out. Like, they also have this ads platform for the mobile apps. Google could kick us out from Android. Like, Google is making 90% of their income is its advertisement, so they for sure would kick us out. So the good thing about this, there is no real mobile app. We have a key. When you register, we send you a key over email. You set up some app from the App Store, but it's a generic one for VPN, and then you have no advertisement, you have fast internet, and you use less traffic.
Okay, that's great. So tell us a little bit about yourself, like how mobile Adblock is great, but like how did you, you're twins, how did you get into all this, like hacking and building these cool apps?
this is a funny story. It's really fortunate that we had the same interest, because it's not common for twins to follow the same path in their life. It started when we were 12 and we decided that we want to have a blog. Like, a lot of kids wanted to have a blog, and they just opened some ready solution from some big websites, like create a blog, and we decided, okay, we don't want to do it. We want to have something on our own. So we decided to learn programming, to run a blog on our own, and this is how it started. And then we always worked together. We went to studies together on the same field, and then when there was more and more work, and we saw that it's giving us much more, we're getting much more knowledge out of work and getting experience, we decided that we leave university, which our parents were not happy. But I think they see it was a good idea to do it. So basically, we always worked together. We moved to Berlin also together. And we're trying to run our own ideas efficient. And because we are twins and we have really similar mindsets. Just imagine when you need to, when you have a team of developers and you need to make them work together in a group. They have so different ideas. They need to talk so much about just one simple feature. But with us, it's kind of different, and or our previous companies that we worked for saw it. We immediately get to the solution. I mean, we don't need to talk so much. We somehow feel what we're thinking, and we move really fast. Like it's just sometimes crazy. This is really useful in hackathons. That's why we also attend so much.
I wanted to also say that if you're creating a product, like I guess everyone has some ideas to create something. What's the best thing you can do for yourself is to validate the product. That means whatever idea you have to think about, is it worth it? You don't know it. I mean, of course, it's your idea, so you think people will buy it immediately. You don't know it, so you shouldn't spend and invest so much time into it. This is how some AppSumo started. This is how Hack Events started, as I heard from the story. Like, Hack Events is just like the biggest hacker website now. Like they even organized this hackathon that happened yesterday. And as far as I remember, Mark, you started with WordPress blog, right?
Yeah, right.
So basically, like mobile Adblock, I wanted to do it a year ago, and I had this idea, and I had all these features about mobile apps and how it should be done and everything. But this takes time, this takes months to do. In the end, we just made something small, something easy to do, that I could hack in few weeks, not few months. And then you just iterate over and over. You get the response from community, from people, what you want from there, and you're improving the product even more. Like, no company started being big, and whatever you're thinking about an idea you have, you should always focus on doing it as small as possible. So you're thinking about opening online shop, let's say. You shouldn't set up really expensive e-commerce software and put money into advertisement. You can just start making a WordPress page when you offer that, yeah, I will sell it. You get 5 customers, you send it manually, you contact with email. You get 3,000 customers later, then you think about automatizing stuff. So when Mobile Adblock started, we basically had no system. Like, I had a contact form, people were sending me emails, and then I was going to my email and sending new keys every day to some people. And then after I got some traffic, after I was spending too much time on handling this manually, then we implemented something automatically. And this is the best advice I have ever read, because once with Mike we had this idea for one startup.
I think it's what Barf said now. It's pretty important when you build something, because you will waste a lot of time building something that maybe no one wants to buy. It was funny watching him sitting, like we were going to restaurants somewhere in Poland, visiting friends, and he got just mail, oh no, I need to send it now because this was like coming from Adblock, mail was from Adblock Plus. Oh man, guys from Adblock Plus are testing us, let's check it out. Let's try to generate keys immediately for them. And so we learned it from experience. I wish I read about this before, because we worked 3 months on some project and we're like so pumped up, guys, this is awesome idea. I mean, we built all the solution, and then when we started searching for customers that would like to buy it, happened that no one wanted it. It was totally not worth it. We learned from it, but yeah, this is like first validating an idea.
Okay, so just drawing back to mobile Adblock Plus. So mobile Adblock Plus. These guys are from Cologne, and they're the little icon that helps you, save real estate or removes all the ads on your website basically. So it works on Safari, Chrome, and so on. And yeah, this is just for the mobile for iOS right now. But so with iOS 9, a lot of these mobile ad blocks for the browser popped up because iOS 9 now allows content blocking. There's one particular app that I want to talk about. It's called Peace from Marco Armand.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's the guy who built Instapaper, but I think he sold his app for like €3, and then he pulled it after 3 days. Also, he was on top of the list in the App Store, but he pulled it after 3 days. Can you explain why?
Marco is a really nice guy, and he created Instapaper. He has nice all the different apps like Overcast. And he created this piece probably because he believed in something. Even the name tells you something is peace. But he's also like a blogger. So at the end, he understood that it's hurting people. So he was too afraid. So he pulled it out of the App Store because he was top. He didn't want to make so much money out of it. He didn't want it. Like he felt like he's stealing. And I can understand him. I can totally understand what he felt, but on the other hand, I believe in good products. So I believe that if you have a good product, you can sell it without advertisements, and you can see it looking at things like Twitter or Instagram, when the advertisements there, first of all, are not blocked because they are not real advertisements like for the programmers. If you look at Instagram, this is just promoted content. And why it's great, why it's better advertisement, because it's not shitty. Like, I don't want to see advertisements for for the tools for the toys for kids. I don't have kids. That's the main problem of today's advertisement. This is not the advertisement for you. And the great thing about the good advertisement is something like Facebook is doing or Instagram is doing. They're focusing on what you like. You follow some profiles on Twitter, so they more or less know what you like. Facebook is even better, like you probably told Facebook everything about you, so they know what you like, they know what you like to advertise, and it's also not like it's promoted content. So it's not strictly advertising, please click and we'll pay something for click that, and you're totally not interested. So, and also it's like inside of the content you're browsing, which is pretty good. Like what I mentioned earlier, there are these apps and the screen for the mobile apps are really like you don't have so much space, and they're wasting you with some advertisement for games you would never be interested in. And on the other hand, you go to Facebook and you're browsing your news feed, and in the middle you see some products or some games, and the advertisement looks nice, looks like a newsfeed advertisement, even though you can see immediately it is advertisement, and it's based on your interest. So more or less, it's something you would be interested in.
Okay, yeah. So subliminal advertisement is, I guess, a better way to go than just having these like banner ads. And I guess, are there like questions from you guys to Bart and Mike, or is it mostly business people, or is there anyone interested in the development of mobile ad blocks? What's happening in the background? Maybe we can talk a little bit about the background. What's happening? How do you block the advertisement system? How is it different from content blockers that are happening in the Safari browser?
So basically, we were searching for a solution, like Barb said before, that Apple or Google won't be able to kick us out, and they cannot block few features that are key features for mobility. So we built VPN connection that you connect to, and we push proxy to Apple. So in iOS 9, Apple released a new library, new API, where you can theoretically push your own proxy. So this is worth mentioning, like when you set up a proxy for iPhone, you can only do it on Wi-Fi, and we focused on 3G connections. So you cannot set up proxy for 3G connections right now in an iPhone, and Apple just disallows it, but they don't disallow VPN connection to push DHCP configurations. So this is kind of a hack that we built, that we push the proxy to Apple settings.
So basically there are two layers. When you set up mobile Adblock on your phone, your whole internet goes through our servers, more or less. We don't see any passwords or etc. because this traffic is encrypted. We just see URLs mostly. So there are two layers. When your traffic, your mobile traffic goes through mobile Adblock, first layer just removes any advertisements. Like when we see the link is going to the advertisement website, we just kill it. Like the response won't get back. And the second layer is responsible for compressing the data. So whenever we see there is an image coming to you, we compress the image. Whenever we see there is JavaScript or CSS files, we compress it. And on top of it, the internet all over the world has this zipping implemented inside. Like you can say that your content is also compressed, but because developers are lazy and they're not doing it, a lot of websites do not have it enabled, which is crazy. So also mobile Adblock just forced this setting, and then all transfer to your phone is being compressed, and iPhone uncompress it. So more or less it's which is similar to what you had on Chrome. You have if you have Chrome browser on iOS, you have the saving of the data usage. Opera browser also was doing it. So it's more or less similar, just a system-wide. So it's nice if you go with a car, you have Edge. I was able to browse 9gag. New York Times is opening instead of 1 minute. I calculated it. Instead of 1 minute, it's being opened in 30 seconds using the same Edge connection. And it's mostly because there is no ads, and ads are also heavy, and the images are being compressed. Yeah, so this is speed up, and on the right side is mobile Adblock, on the left side is the standard connection. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty impressive. So right now you go to the website and just have to register, like sign up with an email, and then you get the keys.
Yeah, it's we have a trial period, so you can check it out for free. You leave an email. You have to connect your credit card, but for 3 days won't be billed. Like you can cancel anytime in 3 days. And this is also because we don't want scams. Like if you're not really interested, too bad. But you can check it out for 3 days for free. If you don't like it, you can cancel without any problems.
And how much does it cost after 3 days?
It's €2 monthly.
Okay. Okay. I think there's a mic over there. I guess it's easier if you go there. Oh, hi.
So you're saying you're using a proxy setting in the iPhone. So every HTTP traffic goes through your proxy.
Yes.
So you know every single HTTP connection I'm going to open from my phone.
Yes.
And you don't think that's a security issue?
No, because if you are already using HTTP connections for something that you need security like passwords, doesn't matter because you will go to airport for public Wi-Fi. Well, you have Wi-Fi from Bits&Pretzels. If you do not use HTTPS, the guys that has the router here also can see the same.
Yeah, but you see all my traffic. So I'm here just for, let's say, 3 days or 2 days.
Yeah.
So that's not cool. But that's okay. And if I'm really concerned about security, can you still use my VPN to my company, and then everything is encrypted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what SSL is.
Yeah.
But still, you still have all the metadata of me. You know, if I'm looking up, let's say, some sensible issues like I've got an injury, or if I've had unprotected sex or whatever, you know that. And
yeah, this is a little bit about trust, true. I mean, theoretically, you have to trust us that we don't save this data and we don't use, and we don't. There is one idea, but for right now, the apps we saw and the solutions we see is that just big companies like Apple and Google, they don't want you to block ads, right? So this is a little bit of a hacky way, but this is the only solution we found right now to be able to block advertisement full on the whole system. So in the mobile apps, in others, and I get why you're afraid of sharing this data, but yeah, it's how it is right now.
If I can interject right now, thanks for the question. I think to answer a little bit, it's selective VPN as well, right? You can turn it off anytime you want.
Yeah.
It's not on all the time. So I guess if you're, browsing New York Times and you're on Edge and you want to have like half the speed load, you can just turn it on, and then if you're browsing some other websites or sending emails that you don't want, that are very personal, just switch it off.
Yeah. Can I?
Yeah, just speak up, thanks.
All right. So have you thought about extending this idea to having something like Tor, so that you can also anonymize yourself? This is speaking about the security concerns. That's in the previous.
Wait, I'm going to repeat the question so that everyone. So it's about, can you extend the VPN so that you're anonymous also?
Yeah, well, it could also be, it could also make a nice extension of the existing Tor infrastructure, right? If you build in your content optimization algorithm and also advertisement blocker into the Tor infrastructure,
okay,
and bring it mobile, so that you don't own the servers, the traffic goes through, but you leverage the existing Tor infrastructure.
Okay. Well, I think it's a really great idea. It's just for now we're just focusing on consumer market. So I'm thinking about my dad, my mom, like normal people that want to save the megabytes and get rid of the advertisement. They don't even know what the Tor is. So this would be a problem for them. And also, when last time I checked, Tor was really, really slow, and we don't want to make it slower. It's a great idea as an extension, as you mentioned. So yeah. I can also say that mobile Adblock basically, even in current form, makes your internet more secure, because well, they say do not connect to public Wi-Fi on the airports because anyone can listen to your traffic. So this also goes encrypted through the VPN. So it's just single point of trust. You have to trust mobile Adblock. This is the problem. But for majority of people, this is completely fine as long as they save the megabytes.
I can say that I got an idea right now for people that don't want to trust third parties companies. Can be a self-hosted solution, like some companies are doing. We could publish the server that you set up your own mobile Adblock. I guess maybe for enterprise it would work, but because we just start right now, our main focus is for like everyday users, not hackers and people from IT directly.
I think there was a question back there. Yeah.
I have a question which is not so much about your product, but about the Adblock business in general. I mean, the biggest Adblockers are Adblock Plus, right, for PCs, and Crystal for iOS at the moment, I think. And both are financing themselves by basically getting protection money by publishers, because they have whitelisted, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You pay and you get whitelisted, so your advertisements get through. And which is a bit of it's basically a bit of cheating on the consumer, but what do you think about this topic? I mean, do you think it's going to be a bigger topic in the future?
That's a great question.
So yeah, I was thinking about this because I also don't like that I'm using Adblock that was popular because it blocked ads from big companies and then they just gave money and they are whitelisted. So there are like two ways how to finance your own app. Either way, you get money from the companies to whitelist them. The second thing, what we're trying to do right now is that we get money from users. So basically, we're trying to build a community that finance Adblock servers and Adblock by your own. This is a hard question because we're just starting, so we also don't know how it will go in future. The main question here would be, is it enough money coming from customers, our customers, to finance the whole app and grow? Because just imagine, like, I don't know, we don't know numbers, how much Google paid, but let's put a number like 30 millions, right? 30 million euro that you can use to grow, to market yourself, and then you're starting with €2 per user monthly. Kind of different level of financing. So this is the main question. Will there be users that will be willing to pay €2 monthly for the Adblock that is not paid by big companies?
Yeah, I think it's an ethical question as well. Like, you're installing this free extension to block all ads, which shouldn't be there in the first place because you're browsing the internet for free as well, like for free in quotation marks. So yeah, should they be there or should they not be there? I heard of some company that is also building an anti-adblock extension to remove all the ad blocking so that the ads show again, but they would also be paid by the companies whose ads are blocked. So it's like, it's going through 3 layers. And yeah, I think didn't Google give all the developers who are building websites scripts to remove the iOS 9 content bloggers so that their ads actually show up?
This one I don't know. Just didn't get into this topic so deeply. Just wanted to point out that with blocking ads, we got paywalls now, right? So main newspaper companies are going into paywalls and subscription modes because more and more people started blocking ads, and like you said, ethical question and also a question about how internet will look like. If we imagine that everyone started blocking ads at one point, first of all, by Google, right? 90% of income. And second of all, we would start paying for basically everything. So right now we have a lot of free stuff on internet based on the advertisement, but maybe this is like we get wrong advertisement. So we get the disruptive pop-ups and advertisement we're not willing to see. But there are bloggers that they don't have normal classic advertisement on their websites. They're doing campaigns with companies, which I like, because they are connected to companies, and it's totally different than just banners somewhere on the website. Let's see.
Yeah, I think also if you compare it to the landscape in the late 90s and to now, it's completely different. There's no more crazy pop-ups and crazy banners. And maybe, with the rise of mobile, I think it's eventually gonna, we started with banners like what we did in the late 90s. Maybe there's gonna be smarter solutions for advertisements, like in-stream advertisements, like you said.
Yeah. So what I see, what Apple is doing, they're a hardware company, so it's easier for them. But they introduced Adblock blocker for iOS 9 because, first of all, they want to fight with Google. They want to kill them, basically. But also Apple focused on the publishers. So with iOS 9 there was not only content blockers, there was also Apple News, which will give you a free content, but the providers of the content will be paid by Apple, as far as I remember. So this whole thing about the advertisement is like what we had in 90s, these pop-ups there, what we have now and where we can be. So if you look at Twitter, it took really long time for Twitter to advertise, but in the end it's really nice both for consumers and publishers. And as I mentioned, Facebook, Instagram, the correct companies that doing this good way. Pinterest is about saving the things for you, like pinning them. And what Pinterest introduced, instead of doing some crappy advertisement like buy this, buy this, buy this, they said, okay, if someone pins your content, we'll give them a buy button embedded in the Pinterest app, and then we take a provision out of it. And this is much better than showing a pop-up, please buy something you're not interested in. Like, you just pinned this item, so you're probably interested in buying it, why not to buy it inside of the app? So there are totally different ways of advertisement. Even for self-publishers, like the top blogger in Poland never had a normal advertisement, like Google advertisement or whatsoever, never had a banner. He's just doing campaigns with companies, and it works much better for advertising because you're not forced to see something. You just see it because you like it. So he's giving reviews, he's talking about the product, and then you can decide on your own if you like it or not.
Yeah, I think the campaigns is maybe the future of ads on the internet. Something like, you see a lot of bloggers on Instagram, for example, they do campaigns as well with fashion companies to advertise their clothes and so on. And yeah.
I just was thinking right now about advertisement and everything, and if we think about television, that we always had advertisement, and right now it moves a little bit to the Netflix, so you choose the content. Netflix has no advertisement. Okay, this is a question if they will put advertisements, no one knows. But you can see where people are moving right now. I mean, okay, you can select content, but also maybe there is some percentage that people moved because there is no advertisement on Netflix.
Yeah. Do we have any questions from the audience still? Don't be shy. All the way in the back, please.
You just mentioned you make the differentiation between, let's say, good companies and the bad companies. Is there any kind of framework you're using to make this kind of differentiation?
So this differentiation is easy because everything that Adblock Plus filters created, it's more or less the bad way. Like people wanted to block these ads, so Google advertisement, all the shitty ads. And what we're doing, what mobile Adblock is doing, is using this public list of filters from Adblock Plus. So we do not add more. So out of the, we cannot, like we don't see the content. We block only based on the URLs. That means if Facebook is displaying content in newsfeed, it's directly to newsfeed data. So we cannot differentiate if this is your friend's post or is it as an advertisement. And the same goes with all this good advertisement, which includes Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. But when there is like a big ad network, which has different URL and you can distinguish by URL only, that it means it's probably not integrated into content, then it's bad, and then we block it.
Yeah, there's these public lists, like Adblock Plus has a public list, and Ghostery also has a public list of trackers, for example. So there's, more than 100 trackers probably on each website nowadays that just track each user and their data forever.
And it's community based, so they didn't publish whitelisting, so it's only blacklisting from community.
Yeah, great. Anyone else? Otherwise, I think we're done for this talk. It was short and sweet, I think. Yeah, half an hour. And in half an hour there will be another talk here, then until 6. So I'd love to thank everyone for coming. Thank Bart and Mike coming all the way from Berlin.
Thank you, Mark, for hosting us here.
All right, great. Thank you.